Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go, dude. Yes.
I'm trying to make a joke with the youth that I'm teaching right now. And I've never felt older this week in my entire life. Of like, what do y'all even... Very like, hello, fellow kids this week.
It's like, what do you guys find funny? What is comedy?
Which is so embarrassing because I do... As a person, I do feel pretty tapped in.
Sure. To,
like, culture and life. And then I get around them and it's like, y'all, when were you born?
Right.
Oh, you're 18? Fuck.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, so you just missed 9/11 in totality. Just completely. You weren't even... It was years removed.
Y'all watch Bluey or what's up?
Are we rocking with Bluey? Yeah, maybe this is a good call out. If you listen to this podcast and you were born in 2005 or later.
Honestly, kill me.
First of all, take me out back and just take me out like Old Yeller. I don't want to be here.
First of all, just let me die.
Right.
Just put me out to pasture.
But second of all, what do you like? What are your hobbies?
What is anything I could say that you'd be like, oh... This person isn't 104 years old.
Yeah, just like one or two tent poles, I feel like would be helpful.
I'm just so scared that they look at me and they're like, this person doesn't know how to turn a PDF around.
Sure.
And that's like my biggest fear.
Yeah, to be perceived in that way.
Like, and I don't need to be like cool with the kids. You know what I mean? But I just don't want them to think like, I don't know. I just don't want them to think that I'm like, that out of touch yet. Because I do actually enjoy keeping up with conversations. Right. I don't mind getting old. That's fine. I'm not scared of that.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck do you even... what do y'all do?
Right.
Maybe I should. Maybe... You know what? It's fine. I'll take myself out to pasture, honestly.
Thank you for listening to the last ever episode of Into the Twilight. We are going to just jump off a bridge and walk into the sun.
I thought that we were going to continue to go until we got a cease and desist from Stephanie Meyer, or, you know, that and just enough money that I would be able to just quit anything so I could go live out my dreams of being in the woods.
Right.
And just not having to exist online. But apparently all it took was just having to have conversations with 18-year-olds.
Right.
And realizing, damn, I can't tell from their facial expressions if I'm good.
Right.
So, how are you?
I'm great. Now I'm just pondering my own mortality, which is really cool and fun. But
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, as one does. Just girly things, you know what I mean?
Just like hot rat summer things.
Right, exactly. I want to bring something to space that I know I'm the last person to have consumed this piece of media. I know I'm late to the party.
Second to last, probably me last, yeah.
I fucking read Heartstopper, and y'all were right. Heartstopper's really good.
Oh, shit.
Heartstopper's very good. And I didn't realize, like, the second season is coming out, like, now, almost, or, like, in a month or whatever. I have still not like watched the show yet, which is the next step, and I'm very excited to feel emotions. But it is the whole time I just was like, yeah, it's cute that it exists. I'm glad like gay teens have that piece of media. It seems like they're having a great time. That's lovely. Good for them. And I just was like, not for me though. That's not my jam. And I was like, you know what? I've been in a graphic novel mood. I've been enjoying pictures and stuff lately. It's been a real treat.
Pictures.
I've been really enjoying it lately. And I was like, you know what? It's literally like always available in my library. Like I'll just like get it, see how it is. And I blew through all 4 of them in like 2 days.
Damn.
And they're so good. Everyone was right about it. Those boys are my sons. I would die for them. I would protect them from everything.
I love that. I love that. Are you... Okay, wait. I have a question. Because I haven't. You were the second to last.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm aware of the show. It looked cute.
Yeah.
Did you get the graphic novels in physical copy from the library or digital copy?
I got digital just because, I mean, my Kindle's old as shit, so it can't, like, process color or pictures, really.
Same.
But
yeah.
I can, like, work my laptop in a fashion that makes it kind of look like a big iPad. So that's how I...
Okay.
I would assume physical is probably the way to go, but you get the same effect, I feel.
I mean, whatever. You can get them faster
yeah.
digitally. So
live your life, whatever works for you and your vibe.
Right. Damn, I love libraries.
Yeah, we love the library. I love these gay teens. I'm very charmed, and everyone was right about it. So that's on me for not trusting every single one of you who said this was good content.
I mean, I believe in you that you trusted it. It's just that there's a lot of media.
It's true. There's so much, right? Like, and I've seen a lot of, they're young and they're figuring out their sexuality. And I'm like, that's great. I love that. Do I want to watch that all the time or read that all the time? Particularly, not so much. But this is good. This is good stuff.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Go libraries.
Go libraries. Let's go. Yeah, I feel like a secret happy thing woven through every happy thing is also just the library in general.
I mean, hell yeah. Because, this show wouldn't exist without libraries.
That's very true. Yeah. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Things are chilling here. I have a happy thing this week that I'm bringing to the space. I want to make this so clear. That this is not sponsored. Fuck, I wish it was, though. So I didn't have to spend my own money doing this. My happy thing has been in the works for 2 years.
Okay.
I've had this on my wish list for 2 years, and I've been like, damn, I really don't want to spend the money to get this.
Uh-huh.
But one of my, very similar to libraries, right? Each week, an unspoken but very important thing. Each week, if I'm not saying it, my recurring happy thing is sleep.
Right. Fair enough.
I need, not just because I physically need it to be alive, but also I just genuinely like it.
Uh-huh.
I like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So my happy thing this week is a product that cools or heats my bed.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say the name because they didn't pay me to do so.
Right.
And there's a lot of different ones that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had this and I've been thinking about doing it for 2 years. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this because it's expensive. But god damn it. So I got it about a week ago. Because I had a very lengthy conversation with my therapist and I was like, listen, I'm trying not to spend money impulsively. And she was like, girl, you've been thinking about this for 2 years and it's going to impact your quality of life in a very positive way. And I was like, damn, Jennifer, okay, you're right. And I'll be damned if it hasn't allowed me to sleep soundly for the last week, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's a couple of these where it's some have water. I didn't want to do that because I have cats who have nails and something about that made me nervous. Right. So I got one that has it shoots, it doesn't shoot. That sounds scary. But it pumps air into your sheet situation.
Sure.
And my bedroom can get hella stuffy. And if it gets even a little warm, I can't sleep at night. I can't. There's no way.
Right.
I will just stare at the ceiling and suffer. And this has allowed me to just regulate my temperature, which my body cannot do because of medications.
Sure.
And now I just sleep through the night, which is a foreign concept to me.
Right. Who is she?
I don't know her. My Apple Watch is like, hey, you good? You're like sleeping, which is weird. So I'm very grateful that this product exists. And I bet it'll be very helpful in the winter too. I mean, I still prefer to sleep cold, but I'm unfortunately very grateful that I bit the bullet and actually did this now.
I love that. They always look so like futuristic and fun of being like, you can, like this is what the future was made for. Of you can change any temperature you want. I saw literally like an hour ago, Nicole and I saw this TikTok of this guy in Japan who like apparently a big thing or something that like just exists there are these like jackets that have like tiny fans inside of them.
Dude.
And they kind of like blow, so like it looks, you kind of look like a little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but like keeps you consistently cool in the hot summer days. And I was like, that's the greatest idea anyone's ever had.
That's kind of like what it ends up doing to your sheets, is you kind of look like a Baymax.
Yeah, exactly.
But I kind of love that.
No, honestly. That's awesome. Yeah, it's so sick.
Because I've never been a person who gets like too warm, like or sweats at night. Yeah. But that would never be a concern now because you constantly have air circulating.
Yeah.
So if this is something that you have seen on TikTok before and been like, had it in a favorites like I have for the past 2 years, unfortunately, it does work. It is incredibly improving my quality of life, and I recommend it. And if you do want this specific product, I'm happy to tell y'all. It's just that I'm not being paid, unfortunately.
Right. Just get in the DMs or something, and we'll do a word of mouth.
And so
advertising.
Yep. So unfortunately, I'm here to say doing things for your quality of life is good. It actually is good. So
yeah, it turns out.
That's nice. Turns out good. Cody, I was not expecting us to have like actual current events this week.
Yeah. Like very related
literal news.
To our like actual like international implications related to this here.
That's
podcast.
kind of like not what we do.
No, we don't do like foreign affairs, technology, government.
It's very much the antithesis of what we do here.
Right. Yeah. And yet.
But unfortunately, the Hugo Award winning AO3 she was in peril this week.
Yeah.
She was unfortunately kind of thrust into some international affairs.
Right. Yeah, she became the drama. She was the moment.
Right. Oh, no. Okay, so I think from what I gathered, you and I both got this news at a similar time. Yeah. I got it through TikTok.
I got it from Twitter, I believe.
Sure. So, girl news.
Right.
Girl news and boy news. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
So AO3, unfortunately, was attacked and was down for either 36 or 38 hours.
Yeah.
This past week. From what I understand, it appeared to be a DDoS attack, which is kind of like what happened to Twitter, honestly.
Right.
But Twitter did it because it's a dumpster fire, where it kind of is like overloading the power grid. But for this, it was an actual attack. It appeared to be by a group named Anonymous Sedan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Anonymous Sedan, who claimed responsibility for the attack. Here's the thing, though. You might be like, wait a second. That name kind of sounds familiar. This group is based in Russia.
So,
and I knew it. I knew this name when I heard it because they did a cybersecurity attack on Microsoft earlier this year.
Sure.
And they've done, like, others. But apparently the whole reason why, allegedly, was that they wanted to say, like, oh, we're claiming this responsibility. We want to take down AO3 because of, like, all of the, I mean, listen, it's AO3, right? So it's, like, all of this, like, smut, NSFW stuff, right? Yeah. All this LGBTQ plus content. But they said, like, here's our surface name of Anonymous Sedan. And the plan, allegedly, was for people to hear that name and then start sharing, like, Islamophobic content.
Yeah.
When they heard that name. But they're from Russia, so what the fuck? Anyways, AO3 didn't deserve this. That's not nice. And people went a long time without their fan fiction.
Yeah. God. I also saw, too, in One Piece that, like, it was down for a while, and then they were like, we're going to keep this up, and it could be for weeks if it's down. And also, we're going to offer a ransom. And they wanted, like, $30,000 in Bitcoin or something. And we're threatening.
For the Super Hulock fan fiction?
Right, exactly. And it was like, first of all, the fact that you think AO3 has that kind of money is questionable. You know? But it's so funny of being, like, taking a fanfiction website hostage and threatening to keep it hostage for weeks and everyone just collectively freaking the fuck out hard enough to to reverse it is beautiful.
There's so many implications of this, of, like, one, gross, right? Yeah. Don't like the Islamophobia. Nasty. Fucked up. Don't like the fact that the main target of this was because of the fact that there's so much queer content on AO3. Nasty. Don't like that. But also, I do think it's funny because there's so much. I mean, listen, AO3 is beautiful. I love the community. This is not what I'm saying. But on the surface level, I do think it's hilarious that they were like AO3.
Right. Like, that's the
place
one.
where a lot of nasty trash is.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to go for. But for real, though, nasty behavior. And I don't like it.
Yeah. 100%.
But it does sound like a fan fiction, though. Of, like, right. We are going to give... You need to pay us a ransom or you're not going to get your Shrek fan fiction back.
What? How is this real?
What? So... confusing. Didn't think that we would actually have real news here, but I'm glad that it does seem to be back up and running. I do have it open right now.
Amazing.
So I can confirm that, like, it is working. And here's what I'll say, I'm not a writer on there, right? Like, this doesn't impact me that much, but if it had impacted our job here, right. I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, you want me to go back to fanfiction.net? Ugh, no thank you.
God, like, listen, this has been the hardest thing over the past 7 years, is trying to figure out the UI of all of these different fanfiction websites.
Right.
Like, I appreciate the Hugo Award-winning AO3 for having a UI I can actually understand. Don't make me go back to, like, Wattpad or fanfiction.net. I can't anymore. I'm tired. I'm old. I can't do it. Okay, so... we're going to put aside actual real current events and get back into the world that is safe and important from, like, 12 years ago. The current events that actually matter.
God.
So here's what I remember from last time is Rose went to sleep in a tent where her and Dimitri are chilling.
Yeah.
On the run still. She ended up in a dream with Sonia, and Sonia was like, hey, Queen, I'm safe right now. Also, you're obviously in love with Dimitri. It's embarrassing that you won't say that. Okay, bye.
Yeah. And Rose
like, get your shit figured out. I know you're 18, but, like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and Rose is like, that was a weird conversation. I didn't get anything from that. I don't know why she was thinking that.
I didn't even get to say anything. That felt kind of, like, a tacky.
Yeah.
And then it ended with her in Rose's... oh, because they switched spots. So Rose is, like, now on guard duty now. Mm-hmm. And she's like, listen, I'm totally, like, paying attention if there's any threats, but also I'm going to peep on Lissa. And but I'm like totally focusing. I'm just resting my
definitely
eyes.
paying attention.
And I'm just like super paying attention. And it ended because Sydney Sweeney came in to the interrogation with the 3 kids in a trench coat and Eddie.
Yeah. And mic drop. Everyone jaws on the floor.
Right.
The crossover event of history.
Yes. Agreed. That's what I remember.
Right. So chapter 20.
Tell us about chapter 27.
Sydney's here. Everyone's like, oh my god. And also, they've never met before, so they all, like, know who this is. And Sydney also, like, can kind of glean, like, that Lissa is Lissa, and etc. But they also, like, have not canonically met before, so they're just kind of, like, strangers.
When your school friends and your community theater friends meet.
Exactly.
And you're not there.
Right, exactly. It's like seeing your teacher outside of school. It's like, what? They exist? They have a physical form.
And your teacher outside of school tells you you're in love with your ex-boyfriend. Right. And you don't get to say anything.
Right. That's how it is, you know.
Right. You've been there.
And also with Sydney is other alchemists. So there's like a lot of tension too, because Sydney, obviously, and the alchemists in general don't like being around vampires. And here they are with
And it's so weird. They're all like snapping. They're in like really crisp jeans and they're like snapping at each other.
Yeah, they got
It's a weird vibe.
Yeah. They got like switchblade combs going through and then just like doing a little two-step.
What I would give.
Yeah. God. And also, Sydney looks really tired. It seems like she has not gotten a lick of sleep because it's been only a few hours since then. So Rose assumes that they like flew her out and basically just like interrogated her the entire time, and then brought her to this other interrogation. Which fun.
Poor Sydney.
Right? I know.
Sydney's been through it.
Yeah, she's been getting put through the ringer. That's like, God. She didn't want to be a part of any of this.
All Sydney wants to do is just watch her television shows and not be around any of these people. And here she is being not tortured, but like interrogated.
Yeah.
And she's just really scared.
Not having a good time. And so everyone's like, Lissa's kind of like, hey, what does this have to do with this situation? Like, why is Sydney? How is that related? And Hans is being fucking evasive as shit as per usual, and it's like, well, maybe something, who knows, we're not sure. But she was with Rose in Detroit, and I think you're all full of shit by saying you didn't know that. And besides Adrian, nobody else does know that because they all thought that she was in West Virginia still.
Right.
And so they're like, actually...
Surprisingly, Adrian doesn't say anything.
Right.
Adrian and I totally thought he was going to spill the beans here.
Right. He was tight-lipped this entire time. And there are moments later on that I thought he would have said something, like, without, Hans or, like, the interrogation stuff around. But he still doesn't. Very interesting. So he's keeping that in his back pocket, I guess. And so all these, like, alchemists, too, are like, listen, buddy, we already we have our own justice system, because y'all kind of do shit. You could do your thing, whatever, but like we don't fuck with that. We don't need to like do this again. Like, we asked her all the questions. She said, like, she like believed Rose was what's the word, like that she, not that she was innocent, but that like she had a compelling point and like tried to like figure something out with her and like followed her, and that it was silly and like now it's fine. Why do we need to like do this whole, we have our own punishments and our own ways of doing things. Like, why you gotta make this about you? And they're like, we had a queen die? And the alchemists are like, yeah, okay. Queen, your monarchy, whatever.
I found this really weird, too, because, like, the alchemists are like, listen, we interrogated Sydney. Yeah. We don't think that she's an accomplice. Right. What are we doing here? And Hans, nasty behavior, he's like, we have an escaped murderess.
Yes.
Homie.
Diversity win. Like, the person who murdered the queen is a girl boss.
We don't need this, Hans.
Yeah.
But I do love that the alchemists are like, and? Like...
Yeah, it's like, what does that have to do with us?
You're not answering why we're here.
Yeah.
But Hans seems very committed to the fact that our three kids in a trench coat and Eddie know Sydney.
Yeah.
Because of the connection to Rose. But they actually aren't lying this time. They don't,
right.
They've never met before. They've never talked.
Right. And they really don't know why any of this is related.
Right.
Genuine.
But they've cried wolf so many times that Hans is like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, you guys seem to be very conveniently not involved with all these things that are related to your best friend. But, whatever.
Hans is dead set on his truth this time, though, and is trying anything to prove his point.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Not how this works.
And Lissa, too, so at one point at the end, they're like, listen, we did our thing, whatever, can we just go? And Hans is like, no, nobody's leaving, especially not you dirty alchemists. And if it takes forever, we'll just, like, get you rooms, and you can just chill here. And they're like, that's silly, first of all, how dare you? But Lissa kind of, like, looks up at Ian, who's one of the alchemist guys, and notices that he, like, has a pause and, like, some sort of look in his eye when he sees the photo of the Moroi that Eddie killed. And so Lissa's like, what the fuck is going on here? And realizes that, like, maybe this guy knows either who this guy is or, like, what his deal is, or knows him intimately. Which, question mark.
And Ian's already been acting weird, because when Hans has been interrogating Sydney,
yeah,
Ian's been acting a little bit like, I don't know, he's kind of giving it away that he has a crush on Sydney.
Yeah, right.
And Rose is clocking it through Lissa, so Lissa's clocking it
right.
too.
Yeah.
But Sydney, bless her heart, is completely oblivious to this.
Right.
And so when Ian does this kind of double take at the photo of the guy who tried to kill Lissa, who Eddie eventually did kill.
Right.
Right. Lissa's like, you know him. Why do you know him? But at this point, everyone, like the Ian and the other alchemists are like beefing with Hans, because they're like, there's no fucking way that we're going to stay here. No. We are, even though we're alchemists, we're still humans. Like, you could just kill us and this thing would be over.
Right.
So nobody seems to hear Lissa of like, Ian knows something. Hello. But eventually they just compromise, sort of, and they get a place a little bit outside of court.
Right.
Like a hotel near the airport or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Which the alchemists are still pissed about.
Right, yeah. They're furious. There's a cute moment where Lissa's like thanking Eddie for saving her. And he's like, bet. And he has to like still stay there. But they're like, all right, bye. And guess who fucking walks in after 8 million years? We've not seen this man. And we've been asking for weeks where this man has gone. Ladies and gentlemen, Abe is back. Let's go.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the space, Abe Dad Man. I forgot his last name. And he's like, oh, hell yeah, Lissa. It's time for your last test. Let's go. Because if you've all forgotten, she's still running for queen and doing the trials. Which is fun.
Notably, though, what I love about Abe is, like, because everyone at this point is leaving. Like, the alchemists seemingly are going one way. Yeah. To go to effectively house arrest, right?
Right.
And then Lissa and crew are going another direction outside of this room. So Abe takes this all in. He like looks over at Sydney, but is essentially acting like he's never seen her before. And continues to walk over to Lissa. And is like, so, time to go to your second trial. Also, what the fuck is happening here?
Also, hey, can I get clued in for a second? This is a very weird vibe, right? Because Abe is always the number one boy.
He's always in the know.
He's always in the know. He always knows what's up, and he's always in control of everything. And
right.
He thought, as did most everyone, that this plan was going exactly as he planned it. But obviously Rose and Dimitri and Sydney had their own things, and they did their kind of side quest mission to get Jill and all that. And apparently this whole time, Sydney has just kind of been sending Abe these, like, text messages that are like, yeah, it's pretty boring here. Nothing really to update. See ya later. And Abe's just been like, cool, great, everyone's safe. Meanwhile, this whole other side quest is happening. And he's furious, because he's like, this bitch it's like lying to me, saying that they were in West Virginia, saying that they were just chilling at that motel, like, blah, blah, blah. And this whole time, they've been, you know, unsafe and running around, and who knows where the fuck any of these people.
What I love about this is, like, he's pissed because Sydney has been, quote, lying this whole time. But you know that he hasn't really been reading the, like, text Sydney's been sending. He's just been, like, using the iMessage like reaction. So whose fault is it really, you know?
Right. Yeah, what if the entire time Sydney actually was like, hey, so a bit of a detour. We kind of got sidetracked. Everything's under control. And he just, like, glances at it and is like, haha, react. And it's like, Abe, pay attention.
Sydney was like, hey, Abe, can you send us over some money? Like, we're actually really struggling.
Right.
And he just gives a thumbs up. Like, homie, we need you right now.
Yeah, buddy.
But now he's pissed. He's like, well, I gotta get in there. I gotta go talk to them, see where the hell my kid is.
Uh-huh.
This whole time, this could have been avoided.
Oh, God.
I do love at the end of this, though. He's like, Lissa, you do actually need to go to your next trial. And she's like, oh, I thought that was just a joke. Like, I thought you were just...
I thought you were joshing me.
Making something up.
Right. Trying to get an excuse. But no, she does have a trial to get.
So, after all of this, she has to go now and do her third, I think?
Yes, this is number 3.
Test?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this is, we welcome back our favorite trial master, the old woman in the chair, who we still don't know her name, question mark?
No.
She's just an old woman, which, great, love that. She's chilling in her chair, but also, weirdly enough, there's not a second chair, so Lissa's just kind of, like, standing, which feels rude.
Yeah.
Like, this woman's just, like, chilling and sitting, and doesn't even, like, stand up, or whatever. But that's fine. I guess that's part of the test. Intimidation. I love it.
I do. I love it.
Yeah.
This one we saw in the TV show, though.
We did see. But it takes a different form, I think. Because what it is essentially the same one from the show that's like, you just have to answer this question.
My riddle's 3.
My riddle's 3, and you get under my drawbridge. Yeah. And it's just, what must a queen have to rule her people? And Lissa's just kind of, like, thinking vocab words, like, wisdom, integrity. And is about, like, her lips are moving, and she's like, no, don't say anything, nope. You have until tomorrow, giving you 24 hours to, like, think on it, and then come on back, and if you get it right, you go through to the voting stage, which, how exciting. And so Lissa's like, okay, cool. And also, she's like, this woman is, we get another instance of, like, the compulsion thing of, like, hey, I know we're giving you a full day to do this, but you're not going to talk to anyone about this. And actually, you can't. Magic. She's like, her tattoo sparkles a little bit, and just like, nope. Can't say anything.
Can you imagine if we had gotten the other trials from the TV show, like, Lissa in a boxing ring?
God, why, like, the fact that wasn't in the in the books, and they put that in the show was so amazing to me, because it's like, why did we're like, this is what royalty should be in this, like, political universe. I love it.
Oh, what I would give to have, I mean, and I know now that it makes, like, it wouldn't have made sense because Rose is, one, a murderess.
Right.
And so she wouldn't have been at court anyways.
Yeah.
But, like, so who would have been her proxy to fight for her? Mm-hmm. But I just want that so bad. Give me the boxing ring in this world. Yeah.
God. Is that too much to ask for?
Apparently.
I want to see Eddie put his dukes up. Is that a crime? God.
So now she has 24 hours to solve a riddle.
Right.
This is my hell.
Right. And Rose is kind of shaken out of this vision. Her thing with Lissa. Because at one point she's like, oh, is, like, Sonia, like, trying to burst in? Or, like, did someone try to get us or find our tent, because they're in that campground still. And no, she woke up because Dimitri was in her arms, sleeping.
Goodbye.
And he just moved slightly, and that shook her awake. And I never wanted to throw my Kindle more. Except for the next 5 pages.
I'm so done.
There were so many things. This woman is a menace.
It's just like, I'm so done with you. Like,
God,
I'm so done.
It's literally so
this chapter.
Up. Yeah.
This chapter 28 is personally so fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. There are so many specific moments of evil in this. It is absolutely astonishing. Also, too,
I want to bring you all to like a visual here.
Yes.
I want you to think specifically about the first Twilight movie.
Yeah.
When blushing bride, who's bad at boundaries himself, Edward Cullen, goes into Bella's room for the first time.
Yeah.
And he tries to give her a little smooch. Mm. And it's dark, but it's also yellow in there. Y'all know what I'm thinking about? And then the moment when he tries to give her a smooch and he's like, I need you to be the stillest you've ever been. And then he throws himself. Remember that Charlie's asleep during this. It's so important that you remember that.
Yeah.
And then he throws himself into the back wall of her room. I want you to keep that image in mind when we are talking about this chapter.
Yeah, just think on it. This is so evil.
I'm in physical pain.
Like, I don't even want to talk about it. Can we end the podcast? I just don't want to do this right now. I need a break. Oh my god. Okay, so fuck. This chapter begins.
So it's before dawn.
Yes.
In the summer. The best kind of chill.
Right.
Like, it's the best kind of, like, you're cold. It's great.
Right. The temperature dropped, like, during the night. And they're both in this fucking tent. And they both have individual blankets. But at one point in the night, Dimitri just rolled over into her. And their blankets merged into one pile. And his head was resting on Rose's chest.
What if I snap my laptop in half? What if that's...
And this woman had the nerve to add the additional phrase, and I quote, and he even snuggled a little closer. Fuck you. What the fuck is wrong with you? God.
To be a man who can just sleep soundly in a tent. I don't know that life.
And also, it's fucked up too because we historically know that Dimitri never has, like, a calm sleep, right? He's always alert.
No, this is the guy
sleeping with one eye open.
Who sleeps with one eye open.
Right. Famously. And this dude is having the most serene little princess nap I've ever fucking seen. In Rose's arms. I'm going to collapse.
Kill me. Kill me.
You fucking shit. Take me back. Take me out. Ugh. God. And so Rose is like, well, I have to respond to this.
What do I do?
Right. It's like, And what she does is kind of put her arm around him and just be like, let's just hold him and just chill and just stay calm and here. And it's fine. And just look at his face and his hair. And the sun shining through in his tender, sleepy little boy fucking face.
She even says at this point that not only that the ache that she had felt since losing him was burning within her, god damn it, but at the same time, holding him like this filled that ache. As though, quote, a piece of me that had been missing was now restored. A piece that she didn't even realize was missing.
Evil sentence. And for a second, she's like, hey, his hair looks really good. I kind of missed what that feels like to run my hands through his hair. I shouldn't, but I will. And she does. And then he's like, what the fuck? Like, shakes awake. It's like, what's happening?
But it doesn't shake him awake, though. It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
His eyes open.
Right.
His eyes open.
Yes.
And what you would expect from Dimitri is that he shakes awake, like, there's a danger. But it doesn't. His eyes just open.
Right. Like, he doesn't, like, alert up. He's, like, still laying and is just, like, looking and kind of, like, assessing the situation. But not in a way where he's, like, danger.
And and they are, I want to make this so clear to you all, they are a few inches apart.
They're so close.
And it gets to a point where he is looking at her and doing the thing where she can tell that he wants to kiss her.
Yeah.
And she wants him to.
Yeah. And then he pulls away.
And then he does the thing where he, like, leans back, essentially, throws himself against the back wall.
Right. I can't. And Rose is like, hey babe, what's wrong? What's going on? What's going on? And he's like, very sarcastically, like, there's a lot to choose from, so maybe you should just start there.
Climate change, like, where do you want me to start?
Right. Yeah, it's like the world is gonna end and, you know, or just be swallowed up in however many years. I'm stressed about it, okay? And Rose is like, hey, so I think you were lying to me when you said you couldn't love again. Want to talk about it? Think there was something there. And he's like, it's not about love. It's about doing the right thing.
Oh my god.
This fucking dude. I hate him.
And Rose, who can't let anything lie, was about to just keep pestering him when he's very clearly, like, can't deal with this right now.
Yeah.
But someone's at their fucking tent.
Yeah.
Great timing. Comical timing, even.
Right. It's like, oh, let's just let Sonia in, and we can talk about this later. Let's shelve this, actually.
Yeah, let's add another body to this small tent.
Right.
My teacher, even. Let's bring my teacher into this tent.
Yeah. Really cool. Really cool vibe. Everyone's really having a great time, and has no unresolved feelings whatsoever. So.
Right. I mean, thankfully she got here, doesn't seem to have been followed.
Right.
So, great.
Yeah, and she's like, cool, found you. We're all good. We lost him. I did see Victor and Jill and Robert and the whole gang. But they did go in, the opposite direction that we did. Yikes.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. 'Cause now they're in, like, Ohio at this point. I think they just crossed into Ohio from Michigan. So they're in the opposite direction of where they're supposed to be going. But, thankfully, Sonia got into Jill's dream and kind of got at least enough landmarks and visual identifiers to kind of know where perhaps they're going. And if they go fast, they can just surprise and get our girl back.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, right. Oh, and also Sonia heals Rose's ankle. Thank God, because that was going to be a problem. Continue to be a problem.
That and the torn dress was a mess going on.
Really impeding. Yeah, I feel like they, at least, I know they're on the run or whatever, but like maybe just stop by a Walmart or something on the way, you know, just get a pair of pants, perhaps. Maybe.
Yeah, get her like a matching set or something.
Yeah, right. Like,
she needs some sweatpants.
Come on. This is not working for anyone here.
No, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Now we're back on the road again.
Yeah, back on the road, going to Western Michigan.
I think, the Sunshine Motel.
Yeah. Wow.
It is,
they see the car and they're like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah, Jill. Great at directions. Amazing.
Right.
This is all perfect and nothing is going to go wrong at all.
I was surprised that they got there so easily, that Victor and Robert didn't switch cars even.
Yeah. Like
they were like, oh, it'll be fine.
Took the CRV and was like, yeah, okay. Very identifiable.
They were like very bad at crime.
Yeah. But Rose does make a point to be like, well, it may be better than, because this was Sydney's car, so it wasn't like attached to anything, and has left a string of dozens of cars, stolen cars across the Midwest. So, like,
Yeah, it might be for the best. That's true.
And this fucking scene is so...
So they're about to do espionage.
Right.
Get Joe.
They're just waiting.
The disgusting brothers.
Right. It's like they're in heist mode. They're just like standing, waiting, ready to go in little hiding spots.
But Rose can't let anything lie.
No. So fucked up. And so Rose, it's been like, what, a few hours since that thing happened? Maybe. And she's like, so I guess we're should we talk about what happened, or... And I mean, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, actually, no, he says, he says there's nothing to talk about. And Rose is like, I knew you were gonna fucking say that, or a combination of, I don't know what you're talking about. And Dimitri just says nothing, because he's like, you're so annoying. Yeah, I know you know what you're talking about, relax. And Rose is like, we should talk. There is something, you kind of wanted to kiss me, and I'm not gonna say it, but maybe I kind of wanted that also. So what gives? And Dimitri still,
says, just because we want something doesn't mean it's right.
Right. This fucking dude.
And it essentially comes down to him being like, listen, I've done a lot of fucked up things. All I want right now is to, like, essentially start new, do better, like, stop evil, doing what's right. And what is not right is taking a woman from another man, a man that I like and respect.
Fuck. Ugh. Okay, here's what's also fucked up about this. This is a little bit peek behind the curtain, right? Up until this point, I think almost with every book that we have read in this series, I have not found any of my, like, highlights from when I read this, like, the first time. Because I know I did.
Okay.
But sometimes I read, I think I had them all in physical, but I also read some on Kindle and stuff. This fucking chapter is when those highlights start popping up. And so I'm really getting a peek into, like, my, 15, 16-year-old brain. And it sucks. It's really bad. I'm glad I didn't write any notes. They're just random highlights. And also, they're not, like, not to, like, dog on my old self, but, like, they're not good highlights. They're not, like, important. They're not, like, lines that make any sense to be highlighted. I guess maybe I was trying to do it for emphasis, but the first one, literally, in this entire series is the... Rose saying, I've never seen that line coming. What is not right is taking a woman from another man. A man I like and respect. It's like, why the fuck did I highlight that? The one that's
italicized?
Yeah, why did I highlight that? That's already emphasized. And it's also not something I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back to that. You know what I mean? Like, what was I thinking? Right. And that's what all of these are. So there's a few of these that will probably sprinkle in throughout this chapter. But,
oh my god. I can't wait. I'm so excited now.
And I cannot stress enough, some of them are like entire paragraphs that make no sense to be highlighted. I was a very bad highlighter as a teenager, apparently.
This is the best gift now, to get a look back into your younger self.
God, so embarrassing. But I do it for you, okay? I do it for all of you. You're welcome.
That is the thing. Here's what I'll say. The way that I highlight the books for this podcast is not how I do it for stuff that I actually, like, read for fun.
Sure.
Because I highlight stuff that I'm essentially just scanning for stuff that I want to remember for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Whereas when I read stuff for myself, I'm highlighting stuff of, like, ooh, this had an impact on me.
Yes, completely.
Which is a very different... Those are completely different things. Because, like, when I look at this now, there's none of these things are things that, like, resonate with me.
Right.
That I highlight. So if someone looked at this, they'd be like, you resonated with so much of this book. And it's like, that's absolutely not true.
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
But this is, I'm so excited now.
God.
I want to know your thoughts on this fight, because it went from 0 to 100 so fast. 1 million. I got so scared.
Yeah, listen, and we all know that Ferrero can write a very good action scene, but this goes so fast and goes in so many wild directions that's like, whoa, what happened? Like, the entire, like, shift and focus of this book changed completely. And it's like, we're, like, 3/4 of the way in, and everything after this feels very different now. Like, the stakes feel very different.
Yeah.
So that's not great. And I love, too, like, Rose and Dimitri are, like, having this little mic drop fucking moment, and then it's immediately go time. And
always with them.
Of course, they can't, like, finish a fucking conversation ever. So they have to go in a fight mode. Rose goes for Victor, Dimitri goes for Robert, because Jill is kind of being compulsed. If they're, like, surprised and kind of, like, taken out, hopefully it'll be broken and she'll, like, run and not try to, like, join the fucking fight. Hoping and praying. And so Dimitri... I should
have remembered, because Ferrero does this. I mean, this is why I called what I did with Jill, is her foreshadowing, especially because of the audience that this book is for.
Yeah.
Her foreshadowing is so intentional.
Right.
And Sonia had just said so recently of, like, Rose, you need to be really careful because the darkness at one point, like, you're going to snap, right? Which makes a lot of sense for the rest of this chapter, because, like, oofa doofa. What I wasn't expecting, though, is the way that this fight kind of turns into the dream sequence in Breaking Dawn Part 2. And Victor being like, oh, here, like, I know we're in this motel parking lot, but here's a fucking earthquake, and the asphalt is gonna open up. Like, hello?
Yeah. It's like, sorry, that's allowed? This
is like public infrastructure. What are you doing?
God.
Respect the space, old man.
Yeah, buddy. And Rose, like, gets him down, right, and pins him, and it's like, and he, of course, very, like, Bond villain, smugly, is like, well done, you're very good at fighting. And they're having this whole ass conversation. Of Rose being like, I've been wanting to do this forever, you fucked, like, my whole life and, like, all of my friends, and, like, I hate you so much, God, you suck so bad. And he's like, wow, I always thought, you know, Dimitri was the savage one, or the one without control, and just,
so
like,
gross.
You know, just programmed to fight and kill, but I guess that's really you, huh? God.
I really wish that Ferrero hadn't used...
yes, yeah, I agree.
Like, hadn't said that here, because I understand what she's trying to convey. We could have used a lot of different adjectives.
Yeah, especially context. What happens after that. It kind of does not look very great, in hindsight. And we also get another highlight here of of Victor saying that Lissa's very valuable. You have no idea how much. Great. Good. Yeah. Good highlight. Oh my god, sorry. Ugh.
It's just I understand what Ferrero's trying to convey here, but for a word that's so often associated with Indigenous people, and the thing that the thing that Rose does here, is what, like, specifically white colonizers do. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Here's the thing. Am I mad that Victor is dead? No.
Right.
No. Fuck this dude.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Fuck this dude. I just feel really bad that, like, Rose is, as we've seen throughout several of these books, is, like, this wasn't necessarily what she wanted. She got overcome by the darkness here.
Right. And it's...
She wanted to knock him out and, like, fight him to the death.
Right. This whole time she's like, get up, man. Get up and fight me. Fuck you. And Sonia, like, has to, like, pull her away through, like, compulsion because Rose does not realize that Victor is literally dead and, like, can't move. And she's trying to, like, lift him up and be like, fight me. Fight me.
Which, it's very Jersey Shore. She's like, fight me, bro.
Right, come on. Debate me, dude. Like, let's do it. Catch you outside.
That's what actually, Ferrero doesn't say this, but the darkness actually makes you become, like, a Jersey Shore bro. Like, you become a Guido.
Right.
It's bad.
Oh, God. And it's really sad. Like, this whole thing.
It's terrifying. Sucks. She, like, breaks.
Yeah, it's like, becomes fully unrecognizable to herself, honestly. And just, like, becomes this, like, ball of rage and just, like, trying to go apeshit. And has
especially
very little...
because what I forgot, I guess I didn't even think of in this moment, was that Robert would try to, like, resurrect Victor.
Right. Oh my god, yeah. That whole thing where it was like, we gotta get them out of here, because it could be like a Shadow Kiss situation and revive it, and that would suck so bad. Like, could you imagine if Victor had all of the, or not Victor, but Robert had all the shit that Rose does of the bond and being able to see the ghosts? Hate it. Horrible. No thank you. Didn't even consider that possibility, and I'm afraid of it.
I hate it. I hate it so much. So, Dimitri is, like, taking Robert out. Because he was, like, trying to do it. And, like, you have to apparently touch the body to finish that. But he was apparently trying. Mm-hmm. So it's, like, Sonia and Rose and Jill. And Sonia's like, listen, I'm going to try to help you out right now, but I need you to do something tough. And I need you to look at all those ghosts that you don't like looking at.
Yeah, the ones that make you feel really bad.
Right. I need you to sixth sense this a little bit. Yeah. And realizes that she can't see Victor. So he's either, like, gone, or he's, like, a restless spirit, but either way, he can't come back to life, which is a good, like, that's good. Yeah. And then it's like, poor Jill, because Sonia's like, Jill, get the fuck out of here. Go get Dimitri. And then this gets rough, because Sonia doesn't really know what to say here to help Rose. Yeah. Because what do you say, right? Like. Yeah.
And this whole, it's, like, really so fucked up to, like, see Rose break down in this particular way, because this whole time she's like, yeah, I kill Strigoi, I'm the fucking best at it, I'm, like, so good. And it's also a very, like, traumatic thing that she, like, never really deals with, of, like, what that means and, like, what that life is, and also how different it is to be labeled, like, or to not only kill, like, as your job, right, or as the thing that is, like, noble to do to protect others, but to do it, like, literal murder is different, and it feels, I would assume, a lot worse. Right? Because it's a lot less normalized, right? It's also, like, a lot of, like, pain and very jarring, and it's like, and Sonia's
that's
like,
why it hurts so much when Dimitri finally, like, comes back and says that he left Robert, like, unconscious in, like, a Claire's or something.
Yeah, he's getting his ears pierced.
And, yeah, he's gonna wake up with some really cool piercings. Yeah. And
listen, sometimes you make rash changes to your appearance after trauma, you know? Like, you just gotta do it. It's true. You know?
That's how you cope sometimes.
Right. He's gonna stop by Sally's after.
Of course, Dimitri, you can do that. Like, you can do the right thing, not me. And Dimitri's like, what the fuck happened? Oh. Because she just, like, snapped. That's why there's a Lifetime TV show about it. But thankfully Sonia, poor Jill. Jill's been through so much. Yeah. Sonia, like, takes Jill's silver necklace and is like, you're great. I love you. I need this. And makes a healing charm out of it and gives it to Rose, which helps her, like, for a little bit. And apparently it like, helps her brain with keeping she's not snapped anymore. Yeah. Oh, God. But now, the ending of this chapter fucking kills me, because she's like, what have I done? And Dimitri says, what you had to.
I'm gonna frickin' lose it.
Honestly, I'm so done.
I'm so fucking angry.
I hate these two so much.
God.
How can you be like, oh yeah, we're actually still in love, JK, like, we never stopped being in love, but we're gonna pretend like we can't do that because of Adrian, of all people. And listen, I love it. Like, don't get me wrong. But for this, the chimney who's like, has not been able to cope because he uses Rose as his therapy. Let's be real with ourselves, please.
I'm so sick of this. Why did we do this?
Why did we do this?
Why did we do it? We thought this was gonna be fun. Remember then? Remember that?
I think it was easier when we just suffered with, like, khaki skirts and strawberry shampoo. Like, it was better when it was cringy and I didn't have emotional buy-in.
Yeah.
Because now I'm, like, actually suffering.
Yeah. I'm in physical pain. So, thanks for that,
damn
everyone.
It. We have some amazing patrons who I'd love to thank for paying for our suffering.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Yes. Makes it all worth it.
Do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh, thank you to Katya Karp.
Ow. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh, thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ow. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Lara Forty.
Ow. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh. Thank you to Jaylene Ivishkov.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Pew, pew, pew.
I have a fan fiction for you this week. It is titled On Chilly Nights Like These. It was written by Acker Hart. The summary is, Rose and Dimitri return from the Strigoi scene in Spokane, and Rose is still shaken from the death of Mason. Plagued by nightmares ever since, Dimitri decides on a more personal approach to be there for her, seemingly unknown to Rose. What he doesn't know is her sore need for someone, a very special someone, to lean on, just for a while. And this is from chapter 1 in Dimitri's point of view. I stirred both of the hot chocolates and did a slight double take at her body language. She was mindlessly picking at her nails, then shook her head, flicked her fingers, and tucked her calloused hands under her thighs. I had to resist the tug at the corner of my mouth at that little motion and focused on carrying the 2 steaming cups to the coffee table before the couch. Rose picked up the cup and winced at the temperature before blowing at the top. I sat down next to her, picked up my own cup, and took a long sip. Like tea, hot chocolate is best served scalding hot. Judging by Rose's expression, not everyone shares my opinion. Really, comrade? Are you even human? Is this what it takes to become a god? Because seriously, that thing would burn me inside out if I drank it as it is. Setting her own cup down and blowing at her hands, giving me a look that said, that was attempted murder, bastard. At that, I barked a small laugh, taking another long sip from my cup, keeping it comfortable in my hands. Rose rolled her eyes and crossed her arms over her chest before leaning back into the old and worn couch. Her nose wrinkled slightly at the smell before she turned to me. So, why'd you bring me here? Suddenly, her rose bravado was gone. I sat up straighter, putting my half-empty cup down next to her full one. I think you know why, Rose, I said quietly, giving her an expressionless look. Her eyes darted around the room by instinct, just like mine did every now and then. Her gaze finally settled on her lap, where her fingers were tightly intertwined. Okay, fine, I can't sleep, okay? Haven't been able to for a while, she finally conceded. End scene.
Damn. Ugh.
These two and sleep, man.
God.
There's a lot of people write about it.
Yeah. God. Ugh.
It's a very painful, sore subject that apparently Ferrero likes to lean on.
Yeah, really, really cool for me to experience.
Yeah, it's really great. It's really
in
good.
so many different ways.
Good stuff. Oh my goodness. Well, friends, please enjoy your libraries.
Yes.
Support them as always.
Absolutely.
Ugh. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.